Good morning, traders. Richard here doing a quick Ichimoku cloud chart market review of the Xetra Dax index. We'll start with the weekly big picture. And after a great rebound rally from this 15,531 cloud chart support zone back in March, the index managed to break through this old cloud chart resistance level of 15,631 zone roughly, and then broke past that resistance level, only to be met with more resistance here at the 16,285, these old resistance levels there from December and January of 2021. So these were significant levels. DAX pulling back, consolidating, snapped back from this top-end cloud chart support level. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Snap back from the cloud chart support level, and now it's kind of within a trading range between this 16,285 and 15,631. So that's kind of where we're at now. We expect a period of consolidation when it might make another attempt at breaking past that resistance. But if that resistance holds, then we've got these levels, 15,748, 15,631, and then the ultimate 15,000 as the downside risk targets if this resistance fails and we're moving into July, August, September kind of seasonal weakness in the market. So that's the downside risk in the market. 15,000, yeah, where the standard line of the cloud is. And then, expect a rebound from that zone. But these are the downside risk targets. If this resistance level holds here to the upside and the Xetra Dax goes into a seasonal weak period, that's kind of the downside levels we're looking for. The standard line of the cloud and then the top end of the long-term cloud. Yeah, but so far so good. Price actions above the cloud. That's bullish long-term with downside risk to key cloud chart support levels. Now looking at the daily, April was a very difficult month trading the DAX, very choppy, range bound between key support zones of 15,748 and these old highs there, and then 16,000 as the resistance. Tested it a couple of times and then managed to gap up, break past it, but only to run into 16,285 resistance zone. So this kind of rally was very short, only lasted a couple of days, snapped back, then found support at the front end of the cloud, 15,795. Then we had a strong rally back up to the standard line and the turning line of the cloud, but that resistance held once again there, and then it snapped back down to this 15,631 cloud chart support zone. So the market then rebounded from that area back up to the standard line and turning line in the front end cloud chart resistance zone. So it's somewhat of a very choppy, very difficult swing trade market here in the DAX index, sideways moving now. Downside risk short term is the turning line of the cloud, 15,871. Yeah, but we've had a sell signal on the top end of the cloud, a classical cloud chart sell signal. So this downside risk to these 15,795 and back down to 15,631, and then if the market's really weak, we'll see 15,400 on the daily Ichimoku cloud there. If we dig right into the turning line here, the standard line there, the purple one there, is now a potential resistance zone because we've snapped back from this resistance zone. So if the DAX does not find support at this 15,980 zone, and the top end of the front end of the cloud, yeah, that's 16,000 level basically, then there's downside risk to the turning line of the cloud, and then 15,795, the top end of the cloud. Yeah, that's kind of over the short term, the kind of downside risk factors. Potential for the DAX to sell off to the turning line of the cloud and then try to rebound back and retest the top end of the cloud here. So that's kind of the swing trade opportunity there, short down here, and then a swing trade back up to these resistance levels. But so far we've had a sell signal, but that doesn't say the market can't strongly rebound from here and make another attempt to take out the 16,285. But the risk reward is becoming a little bit thin now in terms of looking at the charts and where we've had the sell signal from an Ichimoku cloud chart perspective. So key levels to watch out for is this standard line of the cloud, the purple one, going to become new resistance, or is it going to provide a swing trade opportunity to the upside if support holds at that zone? If not, then we'll dip back down to the turning line here of the clouds, 15,871, and then maybe another swing trade back up to the 16,000 or 15,980, and then a sell-off back down to 15,795 to the downside on the Xetra Dax daily Ichimoku chart. Turning to the 4-hour, here we can see how the 16.285 resistance zone came into play. And by that point in time, the DAX is quite far extended from the top end of the cloud. So every time we have a strong rally away from the cloud, we have mean reversion back down to key cloud chart support levels. Sold off, fought heavily to regain support back above this bottom end cloud chart support zone. It actually rallied from this 15.748, this old cloud chart support level, back up, and then ran into trouble at the standard line of the cloud here, you can see. And that standard line is very close to this resistance zone of 16,000. So once again, 16,000 is struggling to stay above the 16,000 zone. That is a kind of a line in the sand now for it on the 4-hour, because price action below the cloud chart level is bearish, price action above is bullish. So we really need to see the DAX to be back above the 4-hour to be bullish. So downside risk is the standard line of the cloud here, 15,871. And then the other level to keep an eye on if this consolidation keeps going is this bottom end of the cloud, 15,838. That is the other cloud chart support zone. So this downside risk to this cluster of support at 15,871 and 15,838. And then we could see another swing trade back up to the bottom of the cloud. But the bottom of the cloud seems to be key resistance at this point in time on the 4-hour, but to be really bullish, we need to be back above the top end of the cloud. So these are the downside risk targets on the 4-hour Ichimoku. Turn to the hourly chart. Very choppy trade here. You can see how this support zone here, 15,631 back here in May helped. A strong rebound from that gap past, only to run into trouble with this resistance zone, this old cloud chart resistance zone, as well as this line there. That one on the hourly, you can see how that 16,097 resistance zone came into play. So there's now downside risk. It's currently testing this standard line support here. If that fails, then we're going to dip back to 15,871, the front end of the cloud here. So keep an eye on those potential rebound levels. But if we go back down below these levels, then we're going to bearish territory on the hourly one. And then we've got these downside risk targets, 15,748 and 15,631 to deal with. But the downside rebound, potential rebound, is for the DAX to rebound from this cluster of support at 15,871 on the hourly chart. But so far the resistance is holding here. Top end of the cloud, 15,993 is the resistance level, and the standard line of the cloud is also now a resistance level, together with the turning line of the cloud there. That's the shorter term time frame than the purple one. But so far, downside risk to the top end of the front end of the cloud. Those are the levels to watch out for on the hourly. Just to recap, looking at the daily, the levels to watch out for is this front end cloud chart resistance, as well as will the standard line become support or resistance. That's kind of critical. We've dipped below the standard line now. It looks like it's resistance. So the downside target there would be the turning line of the cloud, 15,871. And then 15,795, the top end of the front end of the cloud. So those are the levels to watch out for if this resistance level holds here at the top end of the cloud. Until next time, happy cloud chart trading. Bye for now.